Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Legatus, and what you'll see is all of his skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, his skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I am pleased to present to you Legatus. Here we go. And welcome to the skills slide. If you are new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of his skills, on the far right hand side is all the specials that go with those skills, and then the column CD is the cooldown for each skill. Next to that is charges, which is how many times you can use the skill. Then hits, how many times the skill will hit a creature or opponent, player's opponent in the game. And then damage-PVE is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world. And damage-PVP is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against another player's character. And of course you have the passive at the bottom. So, a few things to tell you about, and that is over in the special section, the things that are colored in red like super armor, that just means it is applied everywhere in the game except for the arena. If you go into the arena in Black Desert Mobile, you'll see that the super armor won't be there for you. Now there is some where it is, but the ones in red, not so much. And you'll also see the in purple it says summon Arcanon. That is your pet or the other character that Legatus summons to help you out. So if you use those skills, you will see them or it, and it will come out and help damage the creature or player's opponent you're trying to kill. And let's see, on the left hand side under skill, you'll see that there are words colored in yellow, and like Spearbolt and Lightning Crash, that just means that they're connected to the passive, which is Eye of Ator. And I will go into what the passive is and what it means in the PvP slide. So take a moment to look at everything that you see here. When you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the PvE slide. Here we go. And here we are. So what I have done is I have taken all of the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVE, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And Sentinel Beam is your highest damaging skill. So if you're also wondering why there's a section colored in green, that just means that we can only take 8 skills into the world at a time. So these are the 8 that I recommend you start with, and over time incorporate the other ones that are not colored green. Definitely, because Power of Kibelius, the last one before Eye of Ator, is your heal skill. And when you're out there in the field and the monsters are tough, having a heal is definitely a good thing to rely on when you need it. And there are other reasons for the other things, but just take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the PvP slide, and there is a lot to talk about. So here we go. And welcome. So what I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVP, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And this time around, Spearbolt is your highest damaging skill compared to Sentinel Beam for PvE. So now that we got the basics out of the way and you know why things are colored on the right side and the left side of the screen and the green, let's go ahead and dive into the passive. It is called Eye of Ator, and the way it works is 2 things. When you're hit by creatures or player's opponent 10 times, your passive activates. Or when your MP gauge at the bottom below your health is over 80%. Then you can use the skills Lightning Crash or Spear Bolt to activate your passive. Now, when your passive is active, it goes to the right side where Analyze kicks in, which is you can recover all your MP when hit every 10 seconds. So, what I want to show you is I'm going to read the rest of this, and then I have a video that's going to show you how these things work. So I'll go ahead and keep going. So for Analyze, there's also Recover 20% MP on hit, not applied during the Penetrate phase of your passive. And that one was a little tough to show, but don't worry, we'll get to that. Now, the second half, which is the Penetrate part of the passive. When your MP is over 80 and you use Lightning Crash or Spear Bolt, you consume all MP and apply the following effects. And I've organized it so you can see the effects for Penetrate, which is you deactivate all debuffs, your damage against monsters is increased 15% higher for 10 seconds, you decrease Lightning Crash's cooldown by 5 seconds. And if you look at Lightning Crash, the fourth skill from the top, and it's colored in yellow, it's a 6-second cooldown. So when your passive is active and you get this going, you just refreshed it every 1 second. But if you read the rest, it says upon using Lightning Crash or Spear Bolt for 4 seconds. So for 4 seconds, you have the option to use Lightning Crash every 1 second. That's gotta be of interest to you. We're talking like multiple rapid hits of Lightning Crash, and it is a decent damaging skill. So now that you now that you heard what the passive is all about, I'm going to call up a video and we're going to show you how this all works. So give me a moment, let me pull that up. Here we go. But before we pull that up, I wanted to explain a few things on this still image. This is the start of the video that you're looking at, and I'm sorry if it looks like a football play. Didn't mean it that way, but let's just go through with this. So there's 3 skills we're going to be using: Spear Bolt and Lightning Crash, and those decrease the MP bar, which is the blue bar below your health. And that's what that means. Spear Bolt going all the way across to negative for MP, and Lightning Sentinel, to my surprise, is a helpful skill that increases MP a little bit quicker. Now, I counted it out, and if you just count out 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, when you get to 10, your MP bar will increase naturally until it fills back up. So I wanted you to see that Spear Bolt and Lightning Crash decrease your MP, and Lightning Sentinel can increase your MP to get you back to 80% so you can get back in and do some damage. And I also included the information about your passive on the left side of the screen for your reference, so you can read it and see where I'm going with and what I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's bring up the video. Here we go. And welcome. So as I mentioned before, we have our 3 skills: Lightning Sentinel, Spear Bolt, and Lightning Crash, represented right there. And what we're going to try first, and yes, that is the blue bar at the bottom, what we're going to try first is to show you that you get full MP after 10 seconds, or in my case, it looks like 10 hits. Now, I do want to point out that, to my surprise, it seems like these guys were afraid of me, where they really weren't with any other character that's high level I bring here. And they just weren't interested in fighting our Legatus, unless his back is turned. so, so now we emptied our MP bar, the blue bar, and I'm trying to get them to hit me 10 times or maybe 10 seconds. So you can see that the blue bar fills naturally and it will rapidly fill after 10 hits, I believe. So I counted out, I think it was almost 10 hits. Watch for it at the bottom, the blue bar. Bam! See it? That's what I'm talking about. It seems like it's every 10 hits instead of 10 seconds. Because if it was 10 seconds, yeah, well, I'll let you be the judge of that. So, now we covered that part, and now it's trying to show you the damage increase for 10 seconds against monsters. So, I was trying to show you with the lightning crash skill, but it looks like spear bolt might be the better skill to show you with. So let's try to do that. And what I'm trying to do is the normal attack that you see. So I'm sure you've noticed the damage that's above them already. So 61,000 is, I believe, the 15% damage, and there it is, 51,000 roughly is the normal damage. It's kind of tough because your MP bar does fill up fast. So let's see if we we got that, and geez, nobody's around. Not good. Need to wait for them to spawn in again. Okay, so 56. How about you? I mean, it's going to be damage add 61. So when it hits for 10k more, in this instance, you know you're using your 15% monster damage add. So this is what I can show you. I actually do want to go on to the Lightning Sentinel. If you've already counted at the bottom 10 seconds, you see the little that it's moving every 10 seconds. It's moving again. Count out 10. It's moving again. See the rate at which it's going? So let's empty it and watch. Let it go first, and now let's use it after. Bam. It immediately went, which is telling me that this skill helps you get your MP faster. You notice I didn't wait for 10 seconds. The minute I clicked the skill, it came back. Here we go again. Moves, and then 10 seconds. Bam! That wasn't 10 seconds, that was immediate. So, consider this a helpful tip that this skill can be helpful in getting your MP back up to 80 so you can do the lightning crash. Was it that one? Yeah, looking at it. Yeah, decreases lightning crash cooldown by 5 seconds, so you can do that. So let's go ahead and head back to the PvP slide. Here we go. And welcome back. So now that you know how the passive works, and you have the description right there again, and you are aware of everything else on this slide, let us go ahead and move on to the next one, which is the skill combo slide. Here we go. And welcome. So before we tell you all about how this works, let us tell you where you can find it. If you're in the game and you bring up the menu and you look over to the right side of the screen where it says skills, and you tap on that, and now you're on the skills screen, and you look to the middle and down, you'll see a magnifying glass with a circle around it, and it will say skill combos to the right of it. Tap on that, and you will bring up a little window that says list of skill combos. So what I've done is I've taken the entire list, which you scroll up and down, and I put it all on one screen for you to either print out or put on a monitor if you're playing on a computer. But do be aware, if the printer is not yours, please be kind. It is a little color heavy, and you know, if it is your printer, hey, have fun. Otherwise, I would just print it out in black and white. So, now that you know where it's at, let's tell you how it works. On the left-hand side is the light-colored blue, and that is the skill that Pearl Abyss would recommend for you to start with. And then the chain into the next skill, which is colored in gray on the right side. Now, some skills don't go very far, like a 2 or 3 hit combo. Like if you look at Spearbolt in the top left corner, when you use it, then your options are, you have 4 options: Spearbolt, Divine Punishment, Lightning Crash, and Imprison to choose from. So if you did Spearbolt to Spearbolt, well, hey, there you go, 2 hit combo, done. What I've done is I've taken a moment to look at this, and I believe I have a 5 hit combo for you. It starts on the right side, which is Divine Executioner. So if you do that and then choose the skill Thunderclap, and then you look at the bottom left corner for Thunderclap, and it goes immediately to Lightning Sentinel. And then you look up and to the right at Lightning Sentinel in blue, and it goes to Sentinel Beam. And now the next one down is Sentinel Beam, and it terminates or ends at Divine Punishment. So that is 5 skills or 5 hit combo. This is just an example of what Pearl Abyss is trying to do, is give you an idea on how to make combinations. So this is the starting point for you. So once you get really good, and you know your skills, you'll create your own combos, and boy, that'll be something. You'll be able to mix it up and keep the player that you're playing against confused. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome. So there is a lot to cover for enhancements, so let's go ahead and knock out the basics. On the left hand side of the interface is all of the skills. On the far right hand side is all the branch damage connected to those skills, and the 4 columns in the middle going from left to right, the first one, second one, and fourth one are all columns I try to put things that help Legatus for you. The third column is things that happen against the creature or the player's character that you're fighting against. Sometimes it doesn't turn out that way, but this is the general layout. So, now that you know how that works, let us tell you all about this. First of all, what is enhancements? If you remember me telling you about the skill combos and where to find it, if you were in the game, you brought up the interface and you tapped on skills, and now you're on the skills screen and you chose a skill like, say, Imprison, the first one at the top, and now it appears on the left and it has the icon for Imprison in the center bubble, and there's these circles around it. Those are enhancements to enhance the skill Imprison, but they're not able to be unlocked. Sometimes there is a red number next to one of them, and what that means is you need to find skill books for the skill Imprison in the game world, learn it, and raise your level of that skill to the level you need to be, and then you can, the red number will be a different color, and you'll be able to pay silver and unlock it and apply it. And let's just say that the one for Imprison, plus 20 DP for 10 seconds, what that means is when that's unlocked, your defensive power or your strength of CP increases by 20 for 10 seconds whenever you use this skill. And if you look to the right, if you unlock target move speed minus 5% for 10 seconds, that means that when it's unlocked, any creature that you attack with the skill Imprison or player's character, their move speed will be reduced by 5% for 10 seconds. But once again, I said you do need to see if it has a requirement, like a red number next to it. If it doesn't, pay the silver, unlock it, and congratulations, you have enhanced the skill Imprison with these specialties. And again, the branch damage on the far right is a whole different section I don't really cover, but you will get the hang of what it is and what it does as you play the game. So, where can you find these books to raise up the level of the skill, for example, Imprison? If you are fighting in the world of Elion or Hadum, Elion is the first one you're introduced to, just fighting the creatures there, they will drop these books. And it's random. The books will be specialized to your character. It could be Lightning Crash one time, and then you get, say, another book for Thunderclap the next 5 minutes, and so on and so forth. Just, you want to unlock every enhancement, so keep getting those books, and you want to raise every skill to its maximum, which is level 10, so you can unlock all these enhancements and make your skills as strong as they possibly can be. And that's the goal for the game. So, now that you have a good idea of how that works, let's go ahead and tell you a few things about what you're looking at. For example, if you look at the third skill down for Divine Punishment and go all the way over to the right, oh, whoops, sorry, I was a little quick there. I meant Lightning Crash, and then go all the way over to the right. You'll see it says heal, 220 HP per hit. What that means is that when you unlock that heal for the skill of Lightning Crash, it will work for you per hit, which is amazing. Everywhere in the game except for the section called Path of Glory. It won't work there. But everywhere else, every time you use Lightning Crash, congratulations, 220 HP health is increased. So if it were me, that would be one of the first ones I try to unlock, because that makes you live longer, especially if you are in a PvP arena or fighting against a friend and you use that skill. Haha, you're increasing your health and they're getting frustrated because they're trying to decrease your health. So now that you know how enhancements work, take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the player card. Here we go. And welcome. The player card is like a baseball card. It is everything you previously saw with one special thing added. And I'm going to go ahead and go over all of that, but just one more thing is you can print this out. I would definitely recommend black and white because it is certainly more color heavy than the last thing I recommended for you. But people who know my character profile videos would immediately come here, check it out, see this new character, see if they see something they like, and check out the rest of the video when they have time. So now that that's out of the way, let us show you how this works. At the very top is the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommended, and then to the right is something new. It's called immobilization. Anytime that your skill stuns, bounds, knocks up, knocks down, knocks back, anything that makes the creature or player's character you're fighting fall to the ground and they have to get back up, they spend animation time to get up, and that allows you to get in extra hits. So you want to immobilize them as much as possible. Now there is a catch, and I will go over it at the very bottom of this player card. But for now, looking at the immobilization section, if there is a skill that has an immobilization, it is green. And then to the right of that is how many of these immobilizations do you have for that skill. So let's go ahead and take the first one, Imprison, as the example. So look down under skills, look to the right where it says specials, and let's just go over it. Super armor, nope. 50% damage add after another skill is used, nope. Daze on first hit, yes, that is an immobilization. And the next one, bound on last hit, is the other immobilization. So you're dazing them the first time you hit them, and you're knocking them to the ground on the last hit. And if you look, Imprison has 7 hits. So this is what I'm talking about. You want to use Imprison, Thunderclap, and Lightning Sentinel as much as you possibly can, because those are the most immobilization skills you have. The others definitely, like Spearbolt and Lightning Crash, but definitely those 3 when you can. Now, going over the rest of this, you know about the skills. We just covered the enhancements, so what I'm going to do is explain below that, which is the legend for the player card. So things that are not applied in the section of the game called Path of Glory, and not applied in the section of the game called Arena, are colored in red and gold. And below, if you've been wondering what forward guard and super armor means throughout this whole video, here is the definitions. Forward guard. This means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. If you're still wondering, what the heck does that mean? Imagine an invisible shield in front of your character, and you have your opponent in front of you, directly in front of you. If you have a skill that has forward guard, and they're trying to damage you directly, straight on, the damage will be either 0 or heavily reduced. But if they get behind you, all bets are off, and they'll damage you normally. So that's what forward guard means. Super armor. This is a skill that everyone that does PvP refreshes all the time. This is the bread and butter right here. It means incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. We don't know what that duration is, and this is the reason why people take the skill that gives them super armor, and for Legatus, that could be Imprison, or it could be Spearbolt. Probably I'd recommend Spearbolt, because you could use it in Arena and in the rest of the game, so that's a good one for sure. But they start out their attacks with that, giving them super armor, and you're sitting here trying to use your Imprison, your Thunderclap, and your Lightning Sentinel to knock them down, but the super armor is protecting them. But we don't know for how long, so it's always best for you to throw as many immobilization skills at them at once, so that you increase your odds that when that super armor for them runs out and you get in your 2 hits for immobilize, it will stick and you'll see them fall, and you can get in an extra attack, and that can mean the difference between winning and losing a battle. So now that you know how forward guard and super armor works, take a moment to look at the rest of this player card, and what's going to happen is the music is going to change, and we're going to go into a gameplay video where we show you what Legatus can do. Here we go. And welcome. Before we get started, let us show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we are at Kron Castle entrance, and we're here, well, because we love it here. Their CP is 2,519, and ours is way above that. I think Legatus will be fine. So the way this works is we will use this auto path and have him fight for 2, maybe 3 minutes, just so you can get an idea of how it works and what he does, and then we'll go to town. I'll say my outro and say thank you. So, without further ado, I'm pleased to present to you Legatus. Here we go. And it's just about time for us to head back to town. Just a few more hits in. There we go. So, while the loading screen comes up very quickly, me say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, let people know I am always making more videos, and there are so many more videos left to do. So what we do here is we just put Legatus in a nice little pose or scenery, and we check out his wave. So let's go ahead and do that. And we also check out to see what his clap is like. Oh, let's try it again. Very hearty clap. One more time with his wave, and let me say thank you. Thank you once again, and you have a great day. Take care. Bye now.